Well, we've got another update. The White Rock chickens are starting to go lame from being so big. This is the first one that went lame. Decent sized bird though.
Where'd my dad go?
Not sure. And we're going to do an update on the garden itself. I think my coriander, or my cilantro is going to actually produce coriander seeds by the looks of it. My dill weed will produce seeds by the looks of it. My one kale that grew, I'm going to harvest him in the next few days. Another cabbage beside it that, who knows what'll happen. These are potatoes. I think those are the purple potatoes. Purple flesh and purple skin. Nice run of chard. My tomatoes aren't doing anything great, but I got some nice Romas growing. It'll be nice to have them. My Mexican tarragon. Chives are actually starting to really come. They should take off and become a perennial now. You can see what my lettuce is like here. It's just growing like crazy. Going to seed, and I'm more or less letting it. I'm going to let some of it actually blow off seed and see if it grows up naturally. Apparently it will. My beans, more picking to be had. I think you can see them there. I've already got 7 gallons, so the better part of a bushel off of this little bunch, and well, you'll see the next batch as we come to it. Mint, I could get another pick, and I got so much it's not funny. More red lettuce. The patch that didn't do very good. Half-eaten cabbage and other brassicas. Spinach that went to seed as soon as it matured. Now I might get a zucchini, or pardon me, a cucumber or a squash off of this. I got to get some of these radishes pulled before they go totally to wood. And some more brassicas down there. Some of them right to seed. No ifs, ands, or whats about it. Never tried to flower or produce just immediately to seed. Some of my better tomato plants over in this section. These are beefsteaks. A couple nice tomatoes in there. Steaks never had to be given anything to hold on to. Just more or less serve their purpose to keep the garden hose out and the lawnmowers out. And the beets. I'm gonna have a nice selection of beets here. But they're starting to produce a root. Carrots, I could harvest carrots now if I wanted. This is the one that I actually kept fairly weeded. I noticed the other day that the zucchinis, I had one actually starting to fruit. He's in there somewhere. I can't tell from the screen whether that'll show up, but there's actually 2 in there now that I look at it. Anyways, oh, now there's a zucchini. He'll get bigger, I hope. This was my second planting of, it's a variant of romaine lettuce. I think it's crossed with some kind of a leaf lettuce. it does produce a head if you let it go. I've planted it very densely. At some point I'm going to pick it all and dry it and turn it into powdered greens. Great for soups and stews. And this is the second part of my bean patch that's produced the nearly bushel of beans, and by the time I come back and pick, I'll have over a bushel. More Swiss chard. This is what the spinach does. I don't know, I either got to get a different type of spinach or give up on spinach. Turnips are looking pretty raggedy. Potatoes almost ready to harvest. I don't care too much for the potatoes myself, but everybody else loves them. Hardly worth the amount of time it takes to prepare the soil, but hey, each to their own. This is my second planting of cilantro here. Now you saw what my squash and my cucumbers looked like. Well, these were planted at the same time, and they just have not grown, except that one thing, which is a sunflower that volunteered. And the weird thing is underneath this Back to Eden gardening, one side's zucchini or butternut squash, and the other side's cucumber. None of them matured past that size, but yet they're producing flowers as if they were mature. The ground has stayed wet below the wood chips the whole year, but not drenched or anything. And there's the bale. Likes to come out and see what I'm doing whenever I'm in the garden. And this is the second batch of carrots, which I didn't bother weeding. I want to see the result difference. In the early times it was hard to see the weeds because I planted them really early, that patch. And these are my parsnips. Second planting of parsnips. This is a patch of turnips that didn't produce, so I just let it go. Another bunch of tomatoes. This is probably what would have been the driest part of the gland that the tomatoes are on. My onions did really good up until a point, and then they started to fall over, and I don't know. We'll see. Everyone I've picked so far that isn't too brown has been okay, but anyways, I'll come to that in a second. This is my second batch of beets. Well, this is the first planting of beets. The other one was the second planting down in wetter ground. This, I think, is going to produce better bulbs. My first four frosts before, after I planted this batch of parsnips, took forever to come up, like forever to come up. And it was very selective what came up. But so was my other patch over there, which was planted much later. Anyways, this is my potatoes, onions, which staying green, but all knocked over. A volunteer potato there. A couple more coming up here. And that more or less does it for the garden update. So let's get around to the other things that I've been doing around the place. We've got the hay cut for the second time, really the third time. You can see all around it's all been cut. Compared to this crazy amount of grass I got growing here. If you remember very well, you remember that there was an old outhouse stuck in this this location beside the garage, and it's gone. Not gone, it's been repurposed. We fixed it up, put a door on it, and it's now our fishing tackle slot. Still our human manure compost bin. And this is what we did with the old outhouse. I'm sure you can get an idea of what's going on in there. Now our repurposed bin. A bunch of garbage that we still haven't put away and decided what to do with. I don't know whether that shows up or not, but there's a chicken in the garage. We're going to close off this all the back entrances and have just the front entrances so that it stays as waterproof as possible. I just finished putting this door in here. Now we can close off that back one. Now the one rabbit's pretty sick. I don't know whether she's just miscarried or whether she's had other problems. Let's see her here. Yeah. She's having a tough go of it. I've had to be washing her because she's got diarrhea. And this green-brown gook comes out. We gotta have an update on the youngest babies of the property. Mama Stump. You can see her legs a bit better to show just how club-footed she is, and yet she makes out just as good as any of the other ducks on the property. She's low on the pecking order, but she's liking her new little home. We had the babies swimming in the pool this morning. They were loving it. Now, I guess those aren't the youngest babies on the property, because this is our newest mama right here. She was bred at the same time as Shadow, that I think has had the miscarriage and is in rough shape. Now, I don't think we'll be able to see them, but this shows you a nest here. And if you're watching, sorry about the lens cap getting in the way, but if you're watching, you might see a wiggle there. I'm not pulling the hair off because I don't want to bother her. Now, this is Bonnie's 8. And they're saying, "We are Legion." And more hay in the process of being mowed back here. And the big fat birds here. And if you see the one kind of sitting on the ground on the right hand side, I kind of think immobilized. Just like the one I took care of this morning. I imagine I'm going to have to deal with him tomorrow or the next day. There's two of the other white ducks. And there's not much more I can show you about the green, well, there is one more thing that we finished up on the rabbitry, and not a major thing, but it is major. We've got latches to open and close the door, and you can see how it works. It is closed, and we've got the same scenario on that. And we got all of our other cages shoved in here. That'll be a winter birthing bin at the very end. And the last 4 rabbit cages. There's Clyde. This is Buster. It's had a couple of names, so we haven't really decided on a name yet. And then we've got Bonnie. Did you go feed me? You go feed me? And then the other set of Gormandizers. These are the ones we got from the Mennonites. Using their pellets right now. Oh, and there's one of the first generation khaki Campbells. The mamas. Don't know what else to show. I guess I've got my wood all stacked for the winter. Got a little bit more to add to it. Josh is learning to split wood and it goes from there. But that should just about do it.